like the F-150 is the best selling truck in America because you have to always buy a new one every 3 years.
Never heard that before.
Really?
No, I've never.
Yeah,
heard
I mean, we both have 20-year-old Chevys that can still mostly pull its weight that it could 20 years ago.
Those are
no,
some
it does
bad
great.
examples.
Yeah,
No, but they're not
back
though,
in
right? Like
2003.
my truck's over 300,000 miles, leaks oil out of every freaking seal in the motor.
And doesn't start. Welcome back to the Dirt Drive Podcast. As always, I'm Trevor. With me today, we have the weirdo of wheeling, Tim Germanario.
That's a good
it's
one.
a good one.
I like
yeah,
that one
no,
too.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I get all the fun names.
Yeah, well, you
It's a bit.
Yeah.
I'm like the Burt Kreischer of Dirt Drive.
And
Don't give yourself that much credit.
And as always, we have Tom Sylvester with us today.
What's up, guys?
As Tim put it, those new pickup trucks, are they super trucks? Question mark?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
What is so?
Wrong.
What is super?
1,000 horsepower or more.
I mean, I don't disagree with that, but like, they're a gimmick. I'm sorry, it's a gimmick, right? It's a sales gimmick. Like, are they actually good? Do we know? Do we know anybody who's got one?
Have you driven one?
I've driven a couple different Raptors. I've not driven a TRX yet.
We got to test the TRX at Mercedes that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, what's the point? Maybe I'm old school. Like, a pickup truck is
I think
it's a pick 'em up truck. Like
I think
it's
you're
supposed to
right.
do
Pickup
stuff.
trucks, yeah.
I think you kind of hit it on the head. It's a gimmick, right? Like it's like we had the conversation yesterday on the way home from picking up the trailer, right?
Yeah.
Where I was just jokingly like, haha, I feel like a real truck owner now. I'm pulling a trailer behind
yeah.
a truck. You know, I have the same mentality as you. It's a pickup truck. It's there for utility. You haul stuff with it, you tow stuff
Right.
with it. It doesn't have to be super fast. It just needs the power, it needs the torque,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but you also need to flex on all your neighbors with the same truck.
But
Well, that's why they exist.
That's exactly why
and
they
that
exist.
like to me
we
that's
flex
why
on
it's
our
not
neighbors
a
with our
supercar,
pleasure
right?
vehicles that we tow behind our pickup
with our,
trucks.
you can't flex with garbage.
Yeah, but it's not always a flex thing, right? like sports cars exist because they're fun, right? And then we decided that going fast is more fun than having fun at some point along the line. So we then we created the supercars, right? Your Ferraris, your Lamborghinis, all this stuff. But they are still
But those were born out of like racing. Like those.
But that's
those were
my
born
point,
for a
right?
purpose.
That's the point.
So all these, like the Raptor, the TRX, all these production race trucks are supposed to be the Baja trucks, but they're not. Like,
They wouldn't stand up to a real Baja
like
truck.
you remember? I mean, it was the early days of social media when the original Raptor came out,
And the guy jumped it on.
and the guy jumped it and bent the frame in half,
set
right?
off all the airbags.
Yeah, like they're still a production truck with a big giant engine. It's cool. It's cool, don't get me wrong. But like there's no true derivative to a production race truck, right? You know, that whole concept goes back to SCCA racing in the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
where there were rules that said you had to build this car as a manufacturer to be able to race it, right?
If you
Stock car
like-
racing, the NASCARs, all that stuff, those were real cars hopped up to race.
Yes, if you're familiar with the term, it's called a homologation car.
Yes.
So that was production builds that were built specifically for racing.
Excuse you.
So they
mind
so
me.
they can so they could meet that quota
Right.
to have it on the track.
I'm going to be real obnoxious because my microphone's bothered. Oh, that's actually
not
surprisingly
loud at
quiet.
all, yeah.
Going up is a lot louder than
Yeah,
down. Go
I think
figure.
I think it's because the spring is retracting.
These $16 booms are very nice.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's like for the truck thing,
There was no like
you can't go and enter a Raptor or a TRX in any off-road race and expect to finish, let alone compete.
well you can pre-run
But I can
them.
go buy an M3 out of a dealership and go compete at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
In most road course, like amateur road course racing.
You could technically pre-run the course in them, I guess.
Yeah, but even at that,
But
right?
it's then you're
Yeah,
still
but
not
at
competing.
actual competition level, they're not standing up to
Yeah.
an actual Baja truck,
No.
right?
Right.
Like that's
And there's no class.
No, it would be cool.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It would be cool if some of these race organizations made classes for some of these trucks. I just don't think the demand's there. I think I think the
'cause
people buying them.
understand it's a gimmick. It's
Well, yeah,
it's
people
a
buying them are
status
doing
thing.
it to flex on their neighbor,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
I bought this $100,000 truck. And
It'll pull on your Porsche.
it'll pull on your Porsche, but like I don't actually have to tow my boat because it just lives in my lake house. But I bought it to tow my boat that never leaves my lake house.
Yeah.
like that's what those trucks are for. Which again, they're cool.
Yeah, Ram has the TRX, which is obnoxious with 707 horsepower, like 16 inches of travel in the
Yeah,
front.
Dodge just
The best
stuffed
part about
Hellcat
that
and
truck
everything.
is the stickers.
I don't know. I like the hood.
It's a T-Rex eating a raptor.
Oh, that's on the engine cover.
the little
Yeah.
Easter egg thing. Yeah,
Oh no, and it's stickers on the outside too.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
Yeah.
I haven't been up really.
At least the one that I saw at the dealership.
Yeah.
It had like full blown decals of T-Rex chasing down raptors all the way down the side of the
Yeah.
truck. It was
That's
actually
Mopar for you. That's
it was
yeah,
obnoxiousness.
yeah.
Mopar.
Yeah.
fits in this one too.
Mopar's marketing department is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean they have their work cut out because Ford has declared war on the
just-
truck and off road market.
Just recently too, because
Oh, yeah, no-
they were getting their asses kicked with the Raptor because it was a
V6
V6 turbo.
I mean, fast as hell. Like I mean, like we had one like early on in the shop, and we put an exhaust on it for the customer, and he
then
was like,
took it
yeah.
off?
Well, yeah, he was like, yeah, go ahead and open it up a little bit, see how it sounds. Let me know what you think.
Terrible.
And I remember like getting in it and punching it like all excited. And I was like, oh, that's cool. This is a lifted 4-wheel drive Honda.
all the way down the street.
That honestly would have sounded better. and like it's just I think we're going to get away from even the enthusiast side of it is going to get away from these loud exhaust notes. Like there's always going to be people who love a good V8 rumble, like
Yeah.
what car guy doesn't? But the speed and the power coming out of these twin turbo V6 EcoBoost that Ford's building, it's like, okay, I don't care if it's silent. Like, I'm just going to quietly
Fast
put my
as hell.
eyeballs in the back of my skull. Like,
But now they've got the Raptor R, which is 770 horse, something like that horsepower.
Yep.
Just to come back at the
well, that's the
TRX.
I think the Raptor R is like, it's the what do they call it? Is it the Godzilla motor? No, that's Nissan's. What do they call it?
It's the same.
It's like a 7.3 liter.
No, it's not. It's the same
V8.
thing that's in the GT500. It's not the Godzilla.
I thought it was the big V8 that's in the
don't think so.
Tremors.
No, it's the same thing that's in the GT500. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, we're googling.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised that.
I wonder how they stand up
Chevy-
to the Rivian. Because you said the Rivian was super fast. When
Are
you,
those super trucks though?
Well,
I think super truck.
But,
so when it
but
comes to
I just
super
mean more
vehicles-
from a speed perspective, right? Because whenever
yeah,
you
no,
talk about,
no, the Rivian is like faster than a Porsche.
Yeah.
but that's my point. Is like you talk about supercars, right?
to me,
These 1,000 horsepower cars that are just
Right.
blazing down the street.
my definition of super though is still internal combustion.
That's
okay.
That's
Because
fine.
electricity levels the field so much with everything.
Correct.
That to be super to me, it's got to be ice.
Well,
It's got to be.
but
internal
that's the thing,
combustion.
right? Going back to where the term comes from, like the supercar is now irrelevant. We have hypercars.
Yeah.
Right. All these
You can go
electric
pick up a
hybrid
dealership that goes 0 to 60
Yeah.
in 1.5
Yeah, but there's
seconds.
like the new Ferraris, the Porsche
Yeah.
Spider, like all of these manufacturers have hybrid electric that it just craps all over anything internal combustion because of the instantaneous torque. The Raptor R is the 5.2 liter V8 that is in the GT.
Useless knowledge. That's why they call us the dirt nerds.
It is 2 horsepower shy of the 702 horsepower TRX.
Oh, so it is 700 horsepower.
Just below, yeah.
Oh man.
700. The TRX is at 702. The Raptor R comes with stock 37s.
Wow.
Which again, like why? Why? Like
Because you got to go fast and big.
So that's what
but
disappoints
you
me.
can't
about,
wheel this truck.
I'm aware.
Like
We
that's
watched
the
it
problem.
happen.
Yeah, I know.
that's what disappoints me so much about the 392 Jeep
Why?
Is because it still comes with 35s.
Yeah, but it's still.
Yeah, but that's
so lame.
Okay, but dude, you can wheel with 35.
You can't wheel with
but since
400. What is it? 500 horsepower.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you can.
You don't need it, but that's the thing. Like, at least the 392 Jeep is still a solid axle, 35s, lockers. Like, that's still a trail rig, right? Like, they didn't
sounds
make it
great.
fatter. Like, a
Yeah.
Raptor compared to an F-150 is wider.
Oh, it's so much.
Like,
wider.
it's so much wider.
It takes
Like,
up a whole lane.
right. Like they built these as desert trucks, right? Like, they're not true off-road trucks. They are purpose built for one thing and one thing only.
Run it in sand.
And flexing on your neighbors.
That one. Mostly that one.
Yeah, they do run in the sand, but when I was in Vegas for the convention that I was at with
Nada.
Mackenzie, but the Mint 400 was going on.
Yep.
Guess what I saw none of?
Raptors.
Raptors and TRXs.
Right.
Huh, wonder why.
Not even as the pre-runners.
But-
the pre-runners were
Ford Rangers and Tacomas.
Ford Rangers and Tacomas.
With long travel front
and
suspensions.
These is like Lauren Healy and like
Yep.
the big names in racing were out there, and they're
Would have loved to see it if that the girl we met at SEMA who was driving the Nissan Frontier.
Oh, that was the Rebel Rally. That's a little bit different.
Yeah, but her truck was gorgeous.
Oh, it was
So good.
so that the cool thing about like the Rebel Rally, like that's more of a point to point. That's not like a high horsepower race.
Yeah.
That's like it's like an overlanding race kind of
Yeah.
thing, which is equally cool. And frankly, I think
More
more
fun.
interesting and like because the average person can do it.
Yeah,
If you know how to
absolutely.
use a map, like a paper map, not
Yeah, there
not
you
Apple
go.
Maps
There
or
you
Google
go.
Maps or
Map where you go,
Waze.
yeah.
Not
a paper
you know how to
map.
listen to Siri.
Right. And you've got four-wheel drive, some meaty tires, some basic recovery skills. Like, you can get into something like that.
Yep.
I mean, that's like a mini version of the Dakar Rally. Like, there's
Dakar.
Dakar.
No,
It's Dakar.
that was
Darkars is a dealer group,
DACAR.
and that's
okay.
a dealership group.
I was heard. All right.
I'm pretty sure it's
We're Googling a lot in this episode.
sponsored by Tom's Wi-Fi. It's definitely Dakar.
Okay. I never.
AR.
That's
Yeah.
over in like the Middle
Dakar.
East though.
Africa, I believe. North Africa.
Okay. And that's got those ridiculous diesel trucks that are like the size of
Yes.
fire trucks. Those are my favorite. I don't even know what those are called, but I love them.
Well, it's also not just those trucks.
yeah, it's everything.
There's cars, bikes, trucks, quads, light prototypes, and classics.
Okay.
I'd love to know what classics are. It looks like it starts in France and goes all the way through North Africa.
I'm sold. Let's do it next year.
Oh, yeah, we'll just
Yeah,
If you'd like to sponsor us to go to the Dakar, Dakar.
Dakar. Pretty sure.
no.
Anyway, so but I mean, I think
why-
we're starting to see a shift. I think the
Why hasn't Chevy entered the game
They don't need to.
well, so that's an interesting point.
on the same level? Sorry, I've got another point to make in a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. I don't think it's a worthwhile investment for the manufacturers to do this. Ford is dumping so much money into their like off-road program right now, and it all just feels temporary,
Oh yeah,
right? Like,
they're trying to
Well,
capitalize
because they're
on the
dumping
surge
so much
right
money
now.
into EV as well.
right. So it's
They're
like,
trying to capitalize on the off-road surge that's going on right now, and then
Well-
when it plateaus out, they'll just
right, and that's the thing, right? Like the Wrangler's been around forever. It needed competition. The only ever real competition I ever saw was a 4Runner,
yeah.
the 4Runner market.
Ford brought competition hard too.
Oh yeah,
I think.
yeah, and that's it's great,
Until all the axles broke.
but I think that like they're not in this for the long run.
No.
They're not in it for the Bronco to be produced for the next 50 years to compete with the Wrangler. No, the Wrangler's not going anywhere. Not unless
Jeep goes out of business.
right. Like I mean, we may have electric Wrangler. Like we will always have that platform in some fashion.
Yeah, you always be able to take the doors off and the top
Right.
off.
Right. And I think that's always going to keep them at the top of the market. But
Well, they also have their cult following.
right, because it's the one you can take the top and doors off
Yeah.
and whatever.
Well, they've marketed it as the purpose-built vehicle for that, right? Like
Take the kids to school on Monday and hit the beach on Friday and
Yeah.
drive over rocks on Saturday.
I think what'll happen with the Bronco eventually is it will turn into the normal commuter vehicle again.
Yeah.
Like it's not it's not, like you said, it's not going to be around for the long haul in the off-road sense. Like, people will still use it for that, because I think as it continues to expand, you'll see a lot more people doing solid front axle swaps. You know, these companies will come out with beefed up versions for the independent front suspension, but eventually it's going to be what people said the four-door Wrangler turned into, which is going to be the soccer mom car. And
I think it already has, right?
Yeah.
Like if that wasn't their intention to sell a ton of them, they would have made it solid front axle.
oh yeah. Nice.
Whoops. I think
That sounds like shit.
the problem is, it's not sustainable. It's not. You're not going to sell 2 million Bronco Raptors, right? The idea is
Not when they're 9 inches wider than the
right,
normal.
we're gonna build all these cool off-roady style rigs to promote buying our base model.
Yeah.
Because the guy who can't afford the $100,000 Bronco Raptor goes,
Is the
oh
Bronco
man, I
Raptor
kind
going
of
to compete with the 392?
No.
You think it's going to be high horsepower? Or is it going to be the...
It is a hopped up horsepower, long travel suspension. Like, they're building it. The Bronco Raptor may be the one true vehicle that you can buy off the dealer lot and go run Ultra 4. They may be the first ones to pull that off.
Okay, like right into the 4600 class.
Yeah.
Because they've got the cage already.
I don't think it's caged.
Well, they've got the roll cage like the Jeep does.
Well, yeah, I think all the Broncos have that because
Yeah.
it's convertible. But, like, it's, like, what is it, 14, 16 inches of travel, something ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
37s, it's lockers. It's super high-end Fox shocks.
Yeah,
you know,
throw a 5-point
all
harness in it,
variable.
and
Yeah.
they're good to go.
Yeah. That may be the first real one.
I wish Jeep would come in strong with something like that. I wish Jeep
this may force it.
I think they will. I think Ford has such a good hold on Ultra 4.
Yeah, but
here's what it
you
comes-
say that, but then you look at something like the Wagoneer, which Jeep historically has never really tried to compete in the large SUV market.
Right.
And now, because of things like the Yukon Denali's and the Suburbans and things like
ultra-luxury.
that,
Yeah.
they're bringing that back because the Grand Cherokee, being their luxury model, doesn't cut it anymore. It's a mid-size SUV. So
Yeah. I think from an off-road perspective, like the truck and off-road segment of the aftermarket has been the fastest growing for like the last 5 or 6 years.
yeah, I mean, look at what Ford did. They pretty much discontinued all of their sedans,
Right.
minus the Mustang.
I believe in 2020 it hit the largest segment of
Yeah.
aftermarket, and it's continuing to grow from there, which is kind of outrageous. And
Well, people got stuck inside during COVID.
Yeah.
And they're
The
like,
manual-
let's
yeah.
go
Oh, yeah.
outside. And how do we do that? Is
I
with-
think where a lot of people are saying like, oh, the Bronco is going to take sales away from the Wrangler. No, it's not. I think people who want a Jeep want a Jeep. They don't want an off-road vehicle. The Bronco is taking sales away from the 4Runner. It's taking sales away from Suburbans, whatever it is.
Because it is a 4, you can just take the doors and top off of it.
Right. Like the people who kind of want to go off road, but they're not really sure, and like the Jeep just doesn't really make sense because it is pretty small in the SUV market, right? Not a big back seat, not a lot of cargo space.
My brain just did something funny. I came up with a new word. The Broverlanders.
Broverlanders, I like it. I like it. But you're right? Like
It's funny, I felt
yeah.
it happen. I'm like, this is a new word.
the midlife crisis dad who like you wants to go off roading, but as our wives put it the other day, like instead of making them weekend widows, like yeah, like
Still a great one from last night.
Yeah.
they
Yeah, the guys are the weekend warriors. The girls are the weekend widows.
Like
yeah.
they're the extent of off roading they're ever going to do is driving on the beach in the Outer Banks on the once a week that their family
That
goes
was
there.
so disappointing. I did that.
Right.
So we drove the Wrangler down to the Outer Banks 3 weeks ago. And we're like, oh, yeah, we got to go drive on the beach. I've heard it's so great. It's so much fun. It was like, I'm
pretty
going to
uneventful.
drive my Sonata next time.
Yeah.
And I'm
pretty
going
save the gas.
uneventful.
to save the
Well,
gas.
and that's the thing, right? Like the Bronco goes after those people.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have the family of 4, you need to haul the sports equipment around, but you want to put the top down every once in a while. And you want to go fast and be fuel efficient and comfortable.
Oh,
All
yeah.
the-
I mean, it definitely
all the
has
things
that
a
over the
Wrangler
Jeep.
isn't.
Yeah.
And
Smooth ride,
right.
quick.
Which as off-road guys, don't mind my dogs. As off-road guys, it's great, right? Because more and more people are getting to the hobby, and they're now going, wow, this was fun. Like, I enjoy driving on the beach because I've never driven on anything other than asphalt. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna find my local trail. Oh, this was a blast. I need a lift kit in 35s, and like, and everything's just spirals, and all the manufacturers are on board with that. Like,
and they're pushing that because of these, or they're pushing it with these massive, ridiculous super trucks.
Right.
Hey, this is a cool thing.
Right.
What else does this company make that is kind of similar that I can
what version of this can I afford?
Yeah.
Oh, let us show you the Sport. Oh, well, my neighbor's got one of those. Oh, let us show you the
Outer Banks.
The Outer Banks with the Sasquatch package. Like, this will be bigger than your neighbor's. Yeah, I need that. Yeah.
Especially in this area.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it's awesome. And like, going back to what you said with Chevy's always been the work truck, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know Ford claims the best-selling truck and all that
That's
fun
what
stuff.
I was going to say is are those super trucks too, like the 3500s that make like 900 horsepower and 1,000 foot-pounds of torque?
Those are workhorses.
Yeah, it's a work truck.
Because that's also ridiculous.
Because here's the thing, and here's where I think that it's still a gimmick, is those are popular in very specific places where the average income is higher than normal. You have that mentality of keeping up with the Joneses or beating them, as the case may be.
Yeah.
For the rest of the country, for the rest of the world, those things are seen as unnecessary.
Unattainable super vehicles. Yeah.
Unattainable, yes, but more unnecessary than anything else, right? Like, the average guy who wants to just be able to haul stuff from his house to the dump, or pick up stuff from the hardware store,
Or tow your shit box to the trail.
Yeah, like, all you need for the most part is a 1500.
I'm so excited we all have trailers now. That makes me so happy.
But like, you don't need more than that, right? Like, you don't need more than a 1500. No. It's nice to have,
especially with the modern ones, right?
Yeah.
Like this is like the super trucks are great. We're getting great technology. We're getting great advancements out of it.
It's pushing the whole industry,
right?
Yeah, which is really cool.
Which I think that's the important part of it. But
exactly. Yeah.
It's you're gonna, if you looked across the country, I bet you could pinpoint on a map 5 major cities where the majority of those trucks are sold.
LA, DC, Dallas,
Miami.
Austin.
Probably not even New York, yeah.
Dallas, Austin.
Miami would probably be another one.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be a Midwest
surprised.
town. I feel like it'd be a Midwest town.
But
Miami's going to be all your sports cars. All your Ferraris
they
and
are
Porsches.
getting big into trucks.
Yeah, they are, but they're not
But those are
not bigger than.
But those are the types of areas where those trucks are going to be popular, right?
Detroit and your Midwest is always the number one truck sales.
Yeah,
and you pluck out your high income areas of the Midwest, and I can guarantee you that's where you find the majority of your Raptors. And then you go west to Vegas and Arizona, where you actually like the 1% of the country that you can.
Texas would
go
probably
bomb
be the
desert
largest
at 80
area.
miles an hour in your Raptor.
Yeah. Texas would probably be one of the largest areas, considering how flat and open it is. Yeah. So you can run those things at 95 miles an hour.
But the other end of that is the Texas guys that have the money are buying the 3500 dually Denali,
of course,
because they got 17 horses they got to haul for their wife, and they're looking at the Raptor going, "That's cute."
or they're hauling their.
Oh, you got 700 horsepower.
I got 1,000.
Yeah.
And 6 tires.
Yeah. And 4 race trucks.
Yeah.
Let's see your Raptor haul this 25,000 pound camper.
Well, and that's what it comes down to, right? It's like Adrian made that comment the other day with his Bronco. He's over at the shop and he goes, "My Bronco's more of a truck than anything on this lot." And I went, "It's not more of a truck than my GMC Sierra 1500.
It's not more of a truck than my truck."
Yeah, and I literally said that to him, and he just like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "What does that thing haul?" He's like, "Oh, like."
It hauls ass.
It's about around 8, and I was like, "Cool, mine does 12." Like that is purpose built to haul stuff.
But again, that's a matter of perspective. Where like Adrian comes from the supercar world, the hypercar world, where a race trailer and a race car only weighs 6,000 pounds. Where our trailer weighs 6,000 pounds.
You can pull it with your BMW X5,
right?
M Sport,
right?
Well, yeah,
which
we just hooked up
I have a friend that does that.
Yeah,
he pulls his race car with a BMW
it's a very common
X5
thing.
M Sport.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
impressive.
jeez. First day?
Yeah.
First day with a microphone? Oh.
But like we just hooked up that brake controller on the JL because he was going to be towing an off-road trailer. Like it's only 1,600 pounds, but
Yeah, but
still
when you're
gets
going
towed.
down a steep hill in Moab, like you want your trailer to have brakes.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the dealer modifications are awesome
Oh, I think they're fun.
because right.
Right,
But
like
I think it's also like I was going with the Bronco customers and whatever. It's making off roading.
Oh,
You all right?
I'm okay. I'm good.
I can't wait till you start speaking again and it just rips out.
So if you had to choose a super truck, non-EV, which one would it be? I guess which of the two? No, because do you?
Can I say the 3500 dually Denali?
Yeah, because fully loaded. That's super enough.
Because that's
that's the
what
thing
I
is-
want a truck for. I don't
Yeah.
I don't need a truck to go 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds.
Trevor, what would you choose?
I want a truck to go 0 to 60 with 20,000 pounds
So you
behind
had,
it.
so you already have your 2500 diesel. Would you
Yeah.
get rid of that one, or would you keep that one and also have a Raptor?
Do I get so?
Is this like the best of
hold
both
on,
worlds?
hold on.
Like
No. This
So
is,
to add to your collection now, what would it be?
add to the collection, or can
Your
I get?
collection
Can
of
I,
garbage.
Can I get? Can I trade it in for cash value? Because like what's a Raptor?
Answer the question first, and I've got a second part. We're gonna go around in a circle.
So basically, if you said like I get my 2500 as my work truck, what super truck do I have to drive to piss off my neighbors who don't care?
Yeah.
I'd probably get a TRX just because V8. I mean, no other reason.
See, I saw you as the
I have a
Raptor
different
R because the
reason.
Raptor R is also a V8.
I have a different reason.
That's fair. I'll get.
But you know what the biggest problem with the Raptor R is?
It's Ford.
Problem
Yeah.
circled on the
Ding
front.
dong. So I'm going with the TRX. The one that we saw at the dealership was really nice.
I think
I wish they
they're
would do-
really pretty.
Yeah.
like it's a great looking.
I wish
truck.
they would
yeah.
do a new Reaper because the Reapers are cool. Do you remember the Chevy Reapers?
Yeah.
They were hideous.
Well, that
but
goes-
they were also they released those with
But
the
let's go back then. Let's talk Ford, like the original Ford Lightnings, not the new EV Lightning. The original Lightning. You've got what the was it like the Blazer Extreme and the GMC Cyclones, like these turbo
Those
little
were
V6 mini truck things.
Forgot about the GMC
Right?
Cyclone.
and then you
dude.
had the Ram with the Viper V10 in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was like the Super B or whatever, I guess,
Yeah.
or an SRT. It was an SRT 10 or something like
Yeah, it
that,
was
right?
the SRT10.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a new concept, right? We've been putting high horsepower in everything, but it's still.
So TRX.
TRX. I can't do Ford. Having driven so many Fords working at Enterprise, I just can't do it, man. They break down all the time, and it's just absolutely ridiculous.
At this point in my life, I've said I would never own a Ford, and
Sticking to it.
They could literally drop the greatest, most expensive, most beautiful truck in my driveway with the keys and the title, and
Sell it immediately.
I think I would just have to be like, I'm sorry.
Just based on principle.
Yeah, and then we can give it away for followers or something. Like, when we get to 1 million followers, we'll give the truck away. Just out of principle.
Yeah, I'm TRX too.
Yeah.
I wish Chevy had one. But they
also,
What would it?
don't.
Oh, hold on. So what would it be? What? So keep
don't
it
know.
a half ton truck, right? So your Silverado 1500.
Still your
with the
1500.
Camaro. What's the craziest Camaro engine they have right now? Is the
What the Z
6.2,
the ZL1 Camaros?
ZL162, and long travel suspension with lockers.
But would it even compete?
Yeah, it would compete.
Would it?
But
I
would
think
it
it
though?
would.
Would it?
Because
But-
what's that?
because-
What's a ZL1 Camaro or Z28? Which one's the high horsepower
I
one?
think the ZL1 is a high horsepower one.
Yeah, but how much?
A lot.
Hold on.
That's helpful.
I don't know. I haven't followed the muscle car world in a very long
you're also-
time.
So it's 650.
So no.
God, that's a lot in a small car.
Two-wheel drive small car, just ripping. And it's also a track car too.
Yeah.
That's not a straight
Yeah,
line.
but you're
car
talking about
anymore.
putting that in a heavy ass truck.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's still the same horse. It's
Yeah,
50
I-
horsepower. I mean, 50 horsepower does make a difference. I
Yeah.
mean, you can make up for it in other ways.
I've never noticed 50 horsepower
It's
because
You've
all
never
my
had
shit
50
is slow.
horsepower.
yeah. If I added 50 horsepower to your Sonata, you would notice.
Fair.
Let's just go get a 50 shot of nitrous. You'll notice that.
I'm down.
As the
Let's do it.
piston goes right into orbit.
300,000 miles. Yeah, my Sonata would not like that. So would you have that the TRX or the cash equivalent in a supercar, like a Porsche or the new Mustang.
McLaren
I
F1
wasn't.
LM.
I wasn't
That's-
going that route
That's different though, because that's much more expensive.
because I'm thinking like
$120,000.
if you gave me 100 to 120K
for a super truck or
no
an
the cash
affordable
equivalent,
yeah.
I would me being me dump that straight into the 2500.
You
Make-
dump $120,000 into your 2,500.
A pre-emissions diesel with 120 grand build budget for a trans and motor, that thing's going to make 1500 horsepower and be completely restored and comfortable.
Fair, okay.
And you're going to tell me that 1500 horsepower out of that diesel would not be fun?
It wouldn't last very long. I think everything would break behind it.
No, but with that budget,
Yeah, with
120K,
You make it work.
You could build a race truck with leather seats and a sound system for 120K.
and pull your shitbox Jeep.
Yes,
That would be the best part.
my $1,200 Jeep. Or I guess probably closer to Scrap Heap 2.0 is probably going to come in somewhere.
Are we dubbing it Scrap Heap 2.0?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got to a point yesterday working on it where I was like, I'm not going to buy more metal, so I just started using random scrap pieces I had.
Is there Renegade parts on that one too?
Ooh,
Not yet, but I
yet.
did find the old red tow hooks.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, that would be a nice aesthetic sticking out of the bumper right next to the leaf spring shackles.
That
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
So
Let's
yeah,
do
it
it.
may end up with some old Renegade parts.
Do
on
it.
So you're also the same boat.
Well, hold on. I didn't finish the question because if you're giving me the cash equivalent to buy any car,
Any car. So
yeah,
like
I'm probably
120
gonna
grand for a
go
car.
buy a BMW M8
Yeah.
because I'm bougie like that. Or maybe a Rivian, or maybe both. I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just throw all the money out the window.
Ask me again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I'm probably going the route of getting a super car instead of a super truck. In all honesty, because at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, all these quote unquote super trucks are still just 1500s.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna buy it for the purpose,
you're losing capability in the vehicle
Yeah.
with
but
the power.
But that's my biggest issue with it is I can go buy a 1500 that will do more of what I actually want it to do for a third of the cost.
Trucks doing truck things.
Yeah.
I hate to be like the stereotypical middle-aged white dude right now, but like trucks are for truck things.
yeah.
Like
That's my whole
yeah.
mentality.
You want to
about
go?
it.
You want to go fast? Like go buy a cool car.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my debate because like I love the super trucks. I think they're cool and I think they'd be super fun.
Yeah.
You'd get in trouble with them quick and they don't serve a purpose.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with like the cash equivalent in a Porsche.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is because I'm not a Porsche fanboy, but I do like the Porsches a lot.
I mean, you could go buy yourself like a Camaro or a Corvette. Like you don't have to buy something European.
I would though.
Yeah, so would I.
Like because I've got my Camaro, I'd obviously make that run.
My big
but-
issue is I'm much more of a like old school car guy.
Yeah.
Like I would much prefer to have like a 70s era like Charger, right? Like classic American muscle is where my heart lives with
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So like the new Porsches, like yeah, they're fast. It just
They're so pretty.
Eh.
yeah,
I think
they're
they're so
gorgeous.
here's the thing. They are not very comfortable. Adrian's might be.
I think they're all probably really comfortable. You're
Yeah.
spending 120 grand on a Porsche.
But that's the
Yeah.
thing. They're not as comfortable as you
Yes,
think
they are.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Dude,
Porsche, hook it
I
up.
drove them around for every single day.
I've driven a lot of them also.
Yeah.
We worked at the same dealerships.
I'm aware. The ones they had on the lot, not very comfortable.
Did you only drive like GT3 RSs? Like, did you only drive their factory race cars?
No, drove every single thing on that lot.
I would hate to have to sell you a car.
For the money.
Are you a Mercedes guy? You're a Mercedes guy.
No, God no. Mercedes are the most uncomfortable car ever.
All right.
What
Well,
are you talking about? I just put a racing seat in my Cherokee, and that's the most uncomfortable thing I've ever sat in.
yeah, I don't know if Trevor's ever been uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
can't.
Well, so
No,
he
like the
also
Audis
thought
are super comfortable.
he also thought his wife's
the
Volkswagen-
Audis are way more comfortable to me than the Mercedes are.
He also thought his wife's Volkswagen Bug was fast.
When did I ever say that?
Oh, you said that.
A lot.
I wish we was.
It's so zippy. I
wish we would've
I hate
podcasted-
driving it because
It's
I
a
look
peppy-
ridiculous.
It's a light car. Of course, it's going to be
It wasn't
peppy.
that light.
No,
No,
I wish we
light
had
cars
podcasted
are
like a year and a half.
Porsche Carrera 911s. Those are light. which is also a Volkswagen Beetle, but
Yeah.
that's to piss off another group of people.
Oh shit. Where are we going?
I don't remember. Oh, well, the accessibility of OEM trail rigs, I think, is probably a good way to break it down, right? Like,
Yeah.
Like bringing up Chevy not having a super truck, I think they were very sensible. Like, they're kind of like
Well, they also
the
didn't compete
straight
at
edge
all.
Christian car maker right now. Like, the new, like Dodge is over here doing cocaine. And stuffing the fattest V8 they can build in everything, including minivans and Jeeps.
And Ford's trying to catch up with Dodge.
Ford's trying to drive over every rock on the planet, and like
And failing.
I don't want to go with failing. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job on their first attempt.
Yeah.
And then Chevy's just over here like, sorry, I got to work 9 to 5.
Well, but I think
Yo,
that
you kids have fun.
but you said it earlier, right? Where it's like Ford has tried to have that claim of they're the working man's truck for a long
Right.
time, right? And I think that's where Chevy is taking over that title now
Right.
because of the accessibility of it.
Well, the old joke, like the F-150 is the best selling truck in America because you have to always buy a new one every 3 years.
Never heard that before.
Really?
No, I've never
Yeah,
heard
it's. I mean, we both have 20-year-old Chevys that can still mostly pull its weight that it could 20 years ago.
Those are
Yeah,
some
no, that's
bad
great.
examples.
Yeah,
No, but they're not
back
though,
in
right? Like
2003.
my truck's over 300,000 miles, leaks oil out of every freaking seal on the motor.
And doesn't start.
Oh no, it started this morning. The battery was dead. The brake controller apparently is stuck on.
That's
Don't
good.
ask me why. Because it didn't
it's
used
a
to work,
20-year-old
and now all of a
truck.
sudden it's
It
stuck
works
on.
too well.
Yeah. But that thing, as tired and hurt as it is,
Oh, it's hurt.
has still pulled a Jeep and a trailer to Pennsylvania and back, to the Cove and back, up and down mountains. Like, I've driven that thing on 4 or 5 hour rides. Would it make it to Moab? Probably.
The seats are very comfortable.
Am I going to attempt
They are
it?
very
Probably
comfortable.
not.
The seats are very comfortable.
Again, to my point, right? But I don't even consider buying a new truck. Like, if I had the budget right now to buy a vehicle, it would not be a full size pickup truck.
Get that Porsche and put those seats in it.
I'd keep the
Those
Porsche
two seats may weigh more than the entire Porsche. But going back to Chevy being the sensible geniuses they are, this is going to sound
That's
like
going to piss off a lot of
yeah,
people.
that pisses me off because they're not. The new Blazer makes me so angry.
Have you seen the new Canyon? The new GMC
have you
Canyon.
Oh, yeah,
seen,
yeah.
Have
I
you
saw the
seen the new
84X.
Colorado Trail Boss?
I watched the Colorado 2023 Colorado.
Okay, so
release.
as of we are recording this on the 14th, as of the 11th, the GMC Canyon, which as most people know is the GMC version of the Colorado, has been released. Has fewer trim packages than what the Colorado is going to come with. The cool part is all the GMCs are going to have the high output turbo 4-banger, 310 horsepower.
that's so much power for.
Turbo 4-banger,
Yeah.
right? But
It's a super small truck.
Well, for
the AT4X,
not super small.
the AT4X is like their top line off-road package.
Yep.
There's going to be the AT4X, the AT4, a Denali, and a base. I forget what they call the base. The Denali is obviously the luxury.
Yeah.
The AT4 is your basically what it is now, slightly lifted, all-terrain styling, sport styling. The AT4X, front and rear lockers,
Okay.
rock sliders, and
Wench.
no, that's only in the first edition.
Like the launch edition.
But it's a 3-inch and 33s
nice.
over the base model. So it's basically the equivalent of what the ZR2 will
3
be.
inch and 33s.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's the equivalent of the ZR2, which is the Colorado version. The Colorado ZR2 will even have another one above that, which is the Desert Boss, which is kind of going after the Ranger Raptor.
Okay.
But what I like what they did is they actually broke the packages down to what their uses are, right? Like you get a Bronco and you know, they have all the different packages. They have the Wild Track, they have the Badlands, they have Outer Banks, they have Big Bend, they have all these, you know, fancy off-roady names for them. It's the same truck.
Yeah.
Different colors, different interiors. Some have front and rear, some have rear, some have no lockers. Chevy basically built a Trail Boss. There's a Z71, which is your typical Z71 package. The Trail Boss, which I don't believe has the locker, but it's like a 1-inch lift, some aggressive all-terrains, off-roady type stuff.
good
Then you
looking
go up
package.
to the ZR2, which has fancier shocks, bigger lift, bigger tires. Like they kind of tiered it, right? Where it's not you're buying the full-blown off-road package or nothing. And then they even they're all a little bit different. So like you live out west and you live in Texas and you want to go bomb flat dirt
Chevy's known
roads.
for all of the packages too.
Also
there's
true.
there's so many different tread levels for all of the trucks.
But I think they broke it down well as opposed to Ford and Dodge that are just like power.
But I think that's where they're going to benefit because, like we talked about the other day, where they're all going to have the same motor, just different tune packages in it.
Well, yeah, that's the Colorado.
Yeah, but I think
That's a production thing. That's a cost saving technique.
true. But I think it also affords people the feeling of they're still getting the good motor, right?
Right.
Like you have
Right. There's
in the
no
past, there's
like
no
Jeep. You have to argue over the V6 or the 4-cylinder or
Yeah.
the diesel and all this, which
straight six all day.
Yeah.
But
coming back.
yeah, but I think that's where they're going to take it over some of those other manufacturers in that accessibility market, right? Because people are going to feel like even if I buy the base model,
Yeah.
I'm still
can
getting
upgrade.
Yeah.
an upgrade over everything else.
Which kind of goes back to the old days where, like, you just optioned out a car. There, like Chevy was really the first ones to do.
Copo.
The packages.
Yep.
Yeah.
The '60s muscle cars, which is what makes the muscle car era so great, is you could go in and go, I want a Camaro. I can't afford the V8. All right, fine, I'll get a V6, but I'm going to get the stripe package and the bucket seats
Yeah.
and the manual transmission. And like you kind of got this unexpected one-off custom car.
Yep.
And of course, as it grew and dealerships started to put these packages together so people could come out and go, I want this car, right?
Yep.
That's why we had the Yankos and the Copos, like the central office production order was Copo,
Yeah, it was
right?
Copo. Yeah, you could take any color,
Right.
any engine, any transmission, any rear end with the Copo and put it in I think it was the Camaro.
I think the Camaro and the Corvette both had options for
the
it.
Copo. But that was crazy
yeah.
because you could get any color
right.
that they made.
Yeah.
That was the wildest thing. I would love
yeah.
to see someone do that again. Which I guess Ford did with the new GT40. They had options for.
Yeah.
I think it was just color.
I mean, some of the manufacturers have that, like BMW calls it BMW individual, where like you can go in and pick out every little detail of the car, but you're still limited to what their production abilities
Yeah.
are.
yeah, back in the '60s,
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Yeah, it was just selling cars as
Yeah.
quickly as they could. So it's like I like that Chevy kind of is entering the hardcore market, right? They went from like, oh yeah, look, we put 18s in an all season instead of a summer tire on our Z71.
Well, they had the Bison, which was a
Well, yeah, but the Bison
was that the AV?
that was
Bison?
AEV, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was
So-
just a ZR2 that was
Yeah.
customized, and it was like that's considered upfitting.
Yeah.
That's not
That
really
was sold back through dealerships by AEV.
correct. Yeah, yeah. It's I mean, one day I would like to get into upfitting. Like that's a great market.
Yeah, it's technically what Shelby is. Same thing as AEV. Shelby is not owned by Ford, are they?
When Shelby was alive, you would be correct.
Oh, Shelby got bought out by Ford after Shelby died.
Well, sort of. You like the Shelby today's Shelbys are built by Ford.
Okay.
unfortunately.
And yeah, it goes
2010, 2011, they were still built by Shelby.
no.
Really?
As of like 1968. That's why the 67 GT500s are so sought after, because that was the last year that they were actually built by Shelby.
There you go. You learned something new today.
Yeah. Yeah, so going back into the 60s, like the Shelbys, it was known as like a body in white. Basically, Ford would build the back half of a Mustang, dip it in white E-coat, and ship it to Shelby, who then built his own fiberglass fenders for the front and the rear, the hood that were longer. All the back pieces are Shelby built. And it was all done by them. In 68, because 67 sold so well, Ford was like, nope, we're bringing it in-house.
Okay.
So yeah, all your current Shelby stuff is just a Ford package. It's all licensing at this point.
I didn't know that. Oh, shit. All right. I'm kicking stuff now. It's wrapped in my foot. All right.
Stop moving.
All right, we're better now.
We're good. Everybody all right?
It's a headset that's not getting used either.
So yeah, I mean, like upfitting opens up a whole nother set of conversations because you know, like those Rocky Ridge trucks or the what was the other Chevy?
Like Hennessy too. Hennessy's an upfitter.
Hennessy would be an upfitter. Roush would be an upfitter.
Ridiculous upfitter.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can order Hennessy from a Ford dealership.
I don't think you can. I think you have to ship. I think you have to buy your truck then ship it to Hennessy.
They may be able to acquire the truck from Ford for you, but I think you're doing that entire purchase through them.
Yeah.
Upfitting is like you're gonna walk into Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram and go, "I want a Dirt Nerd Stage 2," and they're gonna roll in a Jeep that we built sitting on the lot. And
if you ask that right now, they're gonna laugh at you like, "What the hell does that mean?"
Yeah. Maybe one day.
One day.
Any dealer groups out there that want us to design and build, we have some great ideas. Just putting that out there.
Good universe vibes.
Yeah.
Good vibes. Yeah, sending out good vibes.
That's maybe one of our 750 downloads. That's other big news in the podcast
Yeah,
world.
that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
We hit 750 total downloads.
Yeah, we're getting 100 plus downloads a week.
That's pretty good.
But cool, guys. That was fun. That was a good episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one.
Just me rambling about automotive productions.
Yeah, just your nerdiness.
That's okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fun stuff, though. I love the automotive production stuff because it's really where the aftermarket starts is with what I can't.
Blah, 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 blah.
The aftermarket starts because the dealer can't provide what the
Correct.
customer wants to a level.
Well, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
right? Whether it's production cost, whatever. But the aftermarket's also good for the individualism, right? Like we're no longer in the realm of the 60s where you have those one-off individual cars you bought from the dealer.
I think
the
we're
aftermarket allows you to do that.
I think we're going to see some really cool things happening in the aftermarket with this resurgence of a high performance, whether it's capabilities or horsepower, or whatever, of base cars, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, for that, we need to keep help SEMA fight because they're fighting for all the legislation to make these things, to make the aftermarket possible. Because they're trying to, not to get political, but the political parties, either or, are trying to outlaw some modifications. Like Virginia just went back to where you can't modify your exhaust past a certain decibel.
Right.
When they got rid of that 2 years ago, where you could have
something like that.
Yeah. And SEMA fought hard
You know
for
how
that
you fight
now.
that? Put exhaust on everything.
well,
I get ticketed all the time.
It'll be like South Park all over again.
yeah, I mean, there's a certain level too of like the technology advancements we're seeing out of OEMs to not need it per se.
Yeah.
Right. Like you go back to when the like emissions components were so restrictive. That's why, you know, it's a thing to put a exhaust or delete your cats or whatever it is. But now, because the OEs are seeing that you can't do that, you can't unlock that power, but they can, we're now seeing high flow cats and high horsepower tunings and all this stuff.
So they're also realizing that all that stuff is also better for fuel efficiency.
Correct.
So you get all the high flow everything, it's better for fuel efficiency.
Yeah, like, I mean, it wasn't all that long ago. Like, I remember being in high school and like going to car shows as a 16-year-old kid and being made fun of because I got a 4-cylinder rice burner, right? Because some old guy's got a big V8, and it's like, dude, your giant V8 makes 300 horsepower. My little 4-cylinder makes 210.
Yep.
Like
Per cylinder.
and now like we were just talking about, right? Like with turbos, like we're getting these small displacement, massive horsepower.
Yeah, you're getting
numbers.
100 horsepower cylinder on some of these cars.
Like the Kia.
Yeah, my wife's Kia is a 1.6 liter turbo, and it makes like 235 horsepower.
Brittany's is the same way. She's a 2.0 turbo in her Hyundai Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, its technology is fantastic.
But then you have the
right
bad
now.
end of that, which is the Ford Focus ST, which is blue cylinder heads off left and right.
Well, that's because it's a
It's a
Ford.
Ford.
Because it's a Ford.
Found on road dead.
Wow, we can basically delete half of our listenership right now because hopefully they're not all Ford people.
Nah, because if anything,
Just kidding, everybody. We love the Ford Raptor.
if anything, I find that
We do like the Ford Bronco.
I do like the Bronco. I think that
the Bronco's a good platform. I think they did a really good job with it.
as much as it sounds like I'm knocking it, they did.
Yeah, they did
They built a good rig. It's just not a Jeep. Like people just need to stop comparing things to Jeeps. Until somebody gives you a short wheelbase, narrow, small-bodied,
solid
dual
front
solid
axle.
axle.
Yeah.
like you want if Ford wants to compete with Jeep, Ford, this is a call out right now. Give me a 2-door Bronco with your front and rear coilovers and a solid front axle and make it the Jeep Killer Edition. I don't know. Your marketing people will come up with something better, but that will be the first. That will be the first Ford I will buy. If they build a factory solid front axle on coilovers with long arms,
That'd be ridiculous. That'd be awesome.
But
that's what I'm saying. Like, why?
But yeah, why does nobody compete with Jeep?
Right. Because they can't.
Well, one, they can't. And Jeep's like that market has been cornered for so long that to try and break
It's the
in,
cult following.
Yeah.
You're never going to get
at this
Jeep
point,
people
you're
out of
never
a Jeep.
exactly.
You're going to get people who want to get into off-roading. You're going to give them an entry-level start in a Bronco or a 4Runner or a Colorado or a Canyon. You're never going to get a Jeep person out of a Jeep.
My favorite.
I do kind of want the Canyon.
want that Canyon.
Chevy, send us a Canyon or a Colorado.
My favorite Frodo right now is not
Can you bigger
available
garage?
in the U.S. It's the new is it Suzuki Jimmy.
Oh, the Jimny? Yeah.
The Jimny, dude, those are so cool. When we were in Mexico,
Yeah, it's the
saw
new
those
Samurai.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are so
Yeah.
cool. Those are my favorite. I would jump on one of those in a minute if it was available for sale in the U.S.
I wonder, can we start a trend? Let's start a
that?
trend right now. Compact overlanding.
Coverlanding? No.
So like,
We'll coin a term. That didn't work.
you know how like in the
That just sounds like you want to go overlanding at the Cove.
Yeah.
in the camping world, there's like backpackers where like they do everything out of a single backpack and they go hike the AT and Appalachian Trail and they're gone for a month living out of a backpack and they grow hairy armpits and all kinds of wacky things because they don't, like a razor's too heavy.
Hey, man, that extra 2 ounces is a killer.
But that's my point, right? Like, let's do a backpacking version of overlanding in like Suzuki Samurais.
I'm down.
I'm totally down to review somebody's video of them doing
All right,
that.
Tim and I are going.
Suzuki send us a Jimny
Yeah.
and we'll build one.
Send the check.
Just
Or the Jimny.
instead of like the rooftop tents that sleep 6, you get the rooftop tent that sleeps 2.
Or one.
Or just not a rooftop tent. You just have a regular tent.
Nah, it's got to be
'cause-
attached to the vehicle.
It's got to be like
compact, right? So
You
think about
can't take up any more
it.
space
If you
than
can't
the
if you
vehicle.
can't fit it in the vehicle, you can't bring it with you. So you put your tent on top, right? If you brought a whole tent with you, where are you going to put it on top of your spare parts and tools? And because it's a Suzuki, so you're going to need those. And then like all your food, your cooler, right? Like there's a reason why full size overlanding's a thing, right? The 4Runner has a ton of cargo space.
You know what? We could absolutely do that in.
a Cherokee.
Sure.
With a diesel swap in it.
I'm just saying in general, we should
Sell that to the customer, Trevor.
We already
Maybe.
did.
yeah, compact overlanding. We're making it a thing.
All right.
Because like overlanding's become like, let me
How
take
much
my
space can you
full size
take up?
truck with an 8-foot bed and a trailer because I need to bring my entire house with me when I go camping. So we're gonna backtrack
Crew
it
cab truck.
Yeah.
8-foot bed. 25-foot long
with
trailer.
racks and drawers. Like it's all about how much crap can I fit in my car. We're going the other way. How much crap can I live without? Single burner, French press.
I mean, we all know the answer for all of us. It's well, we'd go out there with just about nothing just to get away from
that's
cell
it,
phones and computers.
But we really don't.
How long
right?
can we
Like,
last? How long can we last, do you think?
that's-
With everything that we have now, if we just went for a 4-wheeling weekend, just pack it in, pack it out. 2 weeks?
oh, easily.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We might all lose some weight if we do it.
That'd be good.
So we're gonna be a little
You know,
short
that's
on
actually not
snacks.
I just
bad
put a racing
idea.
seat in my Jeep and I don't fit in it.
I sat in mine today just to make sure I still fit in mine. I do. I'm good. I had to suck it in to get past the steering wheel because the seat
Your
bracket's still
bracket's
way
all
too
jacked
high.
up.
Hopefully, be fixing that on Monday. But yeah, no, that's we're gonna pin that one. That one's going on the board. Compact overlanding.
I'm down. Let's do it.
What is the smallest vehicle we can go overlanding for 4 days out of with 3 of us?
Honda Civic.
No, come on.
That'd be so much
No,
fun.
it's still got to be 4-wheel drive. I mean, I'm down to do a Subaru.
I would love a Subaru.
Subaru Baja would be a good one.
Still a 4-door. I'm thinking two.
Oh, true.
I'm thinking a 2-door. Like a Samry,
A Samurai.
a Jimny or a Samurai.
Is that a mash between a
Geo
Camry
Tracker?
and a Samurai?
Sure.
So do we each get our own because we
No.
don't fit
No.
the three of us?
No, thick boys off road, man. thick boys off roading.
Then our wives really will become wheeling widows.
Yeah.
We
should
can
that be the name of our YouTube channel?
Thick Boys Off Road.
Thick boys
Thick
off
boys
road.
off road.
Whatever.
I've already changed it once. I can change it again.
That works. But on that note,
I need a donut.
On that bombshell.
yeah, we'll wrap this one up. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Follow us on all socials: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff. And we will catch you next time.
You're not going to drop the handles.
No.
So
Yeah,
the dirt drive on Instagram, Dirt Nerds Off Road on Facebook, dirtnerdsoffroad.com for swag and other things.
It's too many to remember.
It's really not. It's dirtnerdsoffroad.com will take you to all of them for us.
Yeah, they will.
Just visit our website, dirtnerdsoffroad.com. That's
gonna link it.
dirtnerdsoff
For all the
road.com.
It'll be linked in the bio.
for all the people who still fail to understand how to spell dirt nerds.
Dirtnerdsoffroad.com.
Dirtnerdsoffroad.com.
Dirt nerds off. Subliminal messaging. How do I say that backwards?
Yeah. Oh,
Mock
wow. Jesus Christ.
Trevor hit the button.